Welcome back to the KCMA podcast, aka the Foxhole. Hey, listen, before we head into the Foxhole, this is what I'm going to need you to do. Go out there and like, subscribe, and then leave as many comments out there on our YouTube page as you possibly can. Listen, that's what I need you to do. Second, if you don't want to do that, don't forget to check us out at kcma.ky.gov. That is our website. On that website, you will be updated and find all our announcements, as well as you'll find links to the podcast and the new blog, so we can keep you educated, all things Kentucky, all things military. Listen, this Foxhole podcast was designed to interview key people in the Bluegrass State who are helping our military members and their families do one thing and one thing only: find success and succeed in this state. Listen, at KCMA, we are working tirelessly, 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 to ensure we are giving you the best content in 4 areas. 1, we want you to stay engaged. 2, we want you to stay motivated. 3, we want you to become educated. And 4, we want you to be inspired by all things Kentucky, all things military. Listen, we want to become a military-ready state, and the only way we can do that is when we listen to you, our Kentucky military members and their families. So listen, join me as I head into the Foxhole with today's special guest as we take the next step to become military ready. Join me in the Foxhole. Let's go. All right, we are back. We are live. We are in the Foxhole. We are here. We are doing the doggone thing. And we have, listen, I don't want to go into a whole bunch of details of who we got in here, but we got one of the top ranking officials in the state of Kentucky related to veteran affairs. And as you can see, the top ranking, one of the top ranking officials is a female. So for all my female listeners out there, you know, we practice diversity over here. We do inclusion. We have equity. We are doing it. We want to hear from all voices. As you see from our tagline at the bottom, we're going to talk about all things military today, all things Kentucky. Miss Noel, how you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me today to be on and just talk and then have a discussion. So I look forward to it.
So here in the Foxhole, you know, we get the rounds firing really quick. So we're going to jump right into this thing. And let me start off by this great question. What makes Kentucky a great state for military families to reside in?
Well, if I had to say anything, it's because it's centrally location. Location means a lot to us. You have Cincinnati, you have St. Louis, you have Nashville, you have Chicago, and you know we got a major airport, so it doesn't take us long or far to get somewhere. Just get to the airport here in Louisville, and plus you got Cincinnati Airport on the other side. Just depends where you're at. But as far as military is concerned, it is just so much to do here. You know, we like outdoors a lot, and so it's a lot of things for us to get into, activities that's around across the entire state. And speaking of the state parks, they the most beautiful state parks I have ever seen. And so we get a lot of opportunity to go out there and take our families. And it is about us and our families, right? So we get a lot of opportunity to do those things. And then we also have 4 seasons here. I love that. And I think most military love it. So if it doesn't fit for summer for you, you're going to get winter and fall, right? And spring. So I think it's absolutely a great place for us as military, being in a military families. And this is a great state, and it's just beautiful, and just that southern feel that's here. That's one reason why I really love it. And I got to tell you also, it's not bad about being affordable, because we have young service members that are in the state and family members here, so that really makes a difference. So it makes it really attractive for us, and all the things that the state is trying to do for us to make it even more attractive. So, and what we're doing too to make it even more attractive. So that's why I think it's a great place. Kentucky's a great state. I actually came here 5 years ago from an assignment out of Europe, crying all the way here, got here, and I have fell in love.
That's what we like to hear. Crying to get here, but hopefully you be crying even more tears when it's that time and you have to depart. That's what we want to know.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this, right? So a lot of times they're going to see you, Lanice. They're going to see your name. They're going to see KDVA. They're not going to know much. They're going to ask a lot of questions. So I just want the world to know, as they start listening to this, that
Lanice does have a military story. I'll let her tell her story. So, Lanice, tell us your military.
Sure, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought we had a mic problem there for a minute. I apologize. Well, my story is pretty simple. Graduated high school, went to college for a couple of years, and got there. Wasn't academically, involved and challenged, or just wasn't given what I needed to the fight as far as being a student. And so I knew I couldn't go back home. I decided I wasn't going back home, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't have an education, no skills, and I had to decide on something. I didn't know much about any of the military because I had family members, but they was Vietnam and further back than that had been in the military at one time or another. So since I wasn't academically focused, I had to do something, right? So September came, and didn't tell my parents at all that I was thinking about doing something different. But I had to come up with my own action and figure out how that's going to look, and it better be decent. So I had heard of the military, of course, and I remember one young lady that was in my neighborhood that had went into the military, and she brought all these bumper stickers back for the kids and whatnot. And I had one, and it said, "Be all you can be," and it just stuck. It's about how things manifest later in you that happened years before, right?
Hmm.
So ended up happening that I said, "Hey," I went by a recruiter office and I told them I need to be out here on the next thing smoking. Trust me, they was glad to see someone like me. They didn't have to put up a fight with me. I'm ready. So I went in the recruiting office, and I remember meeting Sergeant Williams in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and he really did get me out pretty quick. I actually went to the MEPS. All this is happening within like a couple of weeks. I got to the MEPS, and they said they got something leaving out the next following week, and I was like, well, maybe not that quick, but so they gave me a couple of weeks, and by the 1st of October, I was on my way to basic training in Fort Dix, New Jersey, as a administrative specialist, and some
Hmm.
may know as a 71 Lima. So it kind of that's what got me there, but I never said how long I would stay, because for me, it was my second chance to get whatever I'm trying to do with my life right. And so after 32 years of serving, and at all levels, just about, and having oof, a list of experiences and training that was afforded to me. Um, I retired, and I walked across the stage in March for retiring, and out of the Human Resources Command at Fort Knox, Kentucky. So my story is like most, we come in for one reason, but we end up getting in there and be so incredibly proud to serve. And I wouldn't change a thing about that.
Cool. So, could you kind of let the world know, right? You retired, but could you let them know what rank you retired at? Because you kind of left that off there.
I'm sorry. I retired as a command sergeant major, and served at the Human Resources Command again, as I said, at Fort Knox. And so for me, I was pretty proud to be there and do that. Can you believe I was the first female to serve in that position?
Wow.
The 16th one to serve, and I'm like, man, all these years, and no one has came before me. So, uh, I stood on a lot of folks' shoulders, and they trusted me to get the job done, and that was such an honor for me to serve there, and do what I do, and to close out my career at the top of my at the top of my game. As you want to say that, it almost sounds funny to say like you're tooting your own horn, but
It's okay to toot your own horn
I
on this
know, I
podcast.
know,
We
I
want you
know,
to.
I know. I would just say it was a terrific ride for almost 32 years. It was 31 years, 11 months, and I think 28 days, something like that. It was something crazy, 10 months and 28 days, something crazy like that. So really, I did rise to command sergeant major, and I was very proud of that. And,
So obviously, this is not a question that I prepared you for, but the question is, so I know sometimes when we are this, as the saying goes, sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. And so obviously when you're in and you're grinding and you're getting promoted and you're working hard, you're not thinking of yourself as a pioneer. But now that you've been out for really just a little bit, um, what do you think about that? Because you really are, you are a pioneer, you're one of the first, and how do you feel about that now?
Well, I will tell you, to be honest with you, I think we, as females, we always have the potential to do a lot of things. And as males, I mean, I think I always looked at myself, and because I was asked one time, what would you tell your a young female that's coming in the military? I said, of course, I want her to be fearless, but the truth is, give it all you got. And to
Hmm.
me, it don't matter who you are, you give it all you have, to do well in whatever you do or whatever you ask to do, and make sure that you pay it forward. And
Right.
I think paying it forward is very important. But Pioneer and tying me with all that, I just say that I hope that if I did anything, I make a, and because I think it was the leaders
Hmm.
that most of the time are males, for them to have courage and really give us the opportunities. And that's all that happened for me, was that I had a general officer that knew that I had the right things, and my resume showed that, and he picked the best athlete,
Right.
not looking at gender.
Hmm.
But I sometimes think it's not really us with the roadblock for it, it's everybody else. You got what I'm
Okay.
saying? Do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? So for me, I think I have made opportunities for, I hope I have open doors, and that I won't be the last, um, in this or anything else. And it gives others, the same. Let's look down at Fort Campbell. We got a, we got one down there that's, blowing the roof off the ceiling, right?
Right.
Blowing the ceiling out, so what can you say? It's just about everybody giving us the, being inclusive and making sure we all have fair, a level playing field.
Okay. I
And
love it.
and if we can do that, and it goes for both sides of the aisle, even females. I mean, just give us the opportunity, and we will show up.
Right.
We'll show up just like everyone else, and so when we can kind of, that's just one step closer for taking the blockers off to me. And
Okay.
so for me, as far as how I feel about it, I get asked this all the time, and I get to, like rambling, and because I felt like I always had it.
Right.
I felt like I always could do it if given the opportunity. And if I see an opportunity, sometimes I'm jumping in and I'm just trying to figure it out on the back end, how I'm gonna get there, right? Just like you as a service member that's put in a situation with the same thing. I think we're showing ourselves well, and sometimes folks just needed that, see that, in order for them to feel better about it, because we come up in different, um, social communities that
Right.
may impact how we see things, or whether, and sometimes it might simply be out of concern.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, here's the thing. Clearly, leadership is in your blood. It's in your mind. You are leading, no doubt, on the uniform side or the military side, and then you take off the uniform, you put on some civilians, right? And you find yourself in another leadership role. So could you tell us about one, KDVA, the Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, and most specifically, let's take the deep dive into your role that you have at KDVA. See, I've been holding out and telling what your role is, but we're gonna do a deep dive right now. So tell us about KDVA. That's the great thing. Put some lights on it, and then tell us most specifically about your role at KDVA.
Well, KDVA has been around for a little while, over 20 years actually. And the truth of the matter is, you had this Governor Paul Patton, that actually established the Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs in 1998. Can you believe that? And what he wanted to do was charge the department to be able to help veterans and their families, where they can obtain federal, state, and local veteran benefits for them, both them and their families. So with that being said, it started the billing of this thing called the Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, where
Mhm.
we serve those who have served us, our nation. And I'm gonna tell you, we are so incredibly proud to do that here. We actually feel like it's more of a privilege for us, for us to be able to serve our Kentucky veterans, over almost 300 thousand of them, and so it's just more of a privilege for us to do it. And we have a whole team of professionals to help us do that. And And that, what does that mean for us? That means that we have now 5 cemeteries.
Hmm.
We actually have 5 veteran homes. Actually, we're 4 veteran homes, with the fifth one on its breaking ground in the spring of 22
Okay.
in Bowling Green. We also have benefits. We have 23 field accredited field representatives that handle benefits for us across the entire state of Kentucky. Actually, in 19 districts,
Hmm.
we have some representation there for those districts. And we also have a host of other things that we do, but those are our big heartbeats of the department. But
Hmm.
we also have some programs that we have here too, and I hope to tell you a little bit more about that later. The programs that we have. So that's really what we do. We really have a labor of love that's going here with a staff that's world class, that is really trying to do what we can to enhance our capabilities across the entire state for our veterans,
Hmm.
and just make sure that they know we are here for them. And so for us, it's more of a privilege. I know it's supposed to be the business. It is the business, and that's not forgotten. So for me to come from that side over here and land here has been unexpected, but actually, I can't tell you how proud I am, and then to be here. And actually, what capacity do I serve in? My role here um, is the deputy commissioner for the Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, where I really is like the extended reach of the commissioner, and really the extended reach for the whole state, right? Where I oversee and advise and assist with all the um, programs and all the things we do for the whole state of Kentucky for our veterans.
I told y'all leadership was in her blood, and I wasn't lying. She goes from command sergeant major. Now she serves as deputy commissioner. So that means she's the number two for those who aren't always so familiar with the civilian titles and terms. She's the number two person in charge when it comes to the Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, and that's amazing. And so that does kind of segue into what our next question is what are some of those programs out there that you just alluded to that are helping our military families and their the military members and their families?
Yeah, actually, I'm really proud to tell you that we have a few of them. Actually, we have the one that's called the Homeless Veterans Program, and this is a program that's designed to be able to provide direct financial assistance to our veterans and those that are facing eviction, and to help with their essential utilities,
Mhm.
just to name a few. And I mean, it also consists of transit housing, food, clothing, employment assistance. We also work with those that are interested in helping veterans, especially our homeless veterans. Like we had a senior farmers market that came about that was giving vouchers to homeless veterans. Just one step, one more effort to see how we could continue to help those homeless veterans and let them know you're not forgotten, and we're going to do whatever we can to be there for them in as much as we can. So it's a great program. And I would tell you, we also have this thing called the Kentucky Women's Veterans Program,
Mhm.
and this is designed just to really to get after women veterans. Because you would ask a lot of times, women veterans. I see you serving, me serving. We're standing right side by side. A woman veteran is most likely not to even mention her service
Wow.
or that she has served. So we knew this was an area we had to really focus in on and kind of get them to start seeing themselves as veterans.
Mhm.
Not everybody, grant you, but we saw it enough that we needed to have that focus on a program
Right.
designed for our Kentucky women veterans. So we have that program, and then we have this thing called Kentucky Employment Program, and where it's about training and support program, where we're going to try to help our veterans make a connection, get some type of employment or some type of training, some type of skill. And so that's where we come in also, where we're trying to help that effort to assist them with those resources and those opportunities and make a connection with them. So that's another one of those things. And so we actually have a program manager that goes out to the employers across the entire state trying to make that connection and open up those opportunities and let them know, hey, we have veterans that would love to have the opportunity to work for one of your organizations out there across the state. So we make those things, and we have a little a Rolodex right there. So when they're calling in and we got to help them, I mean, even help them so far, even with resumes.
Mhm.
We're just another one of those resources that really targets our veterans and how we can help them and make that connection for them. As a lot of times they just need a chance,
Yeah.
or they just need to know that opportunity is there. And even for us that's transitioning out. So, you kind of punching in the dark, like, oh my gosh, I've been in this community for ever. I really didn't have to worry about it. I knew what my job was. And if I didn't, it was telling me where it's at, and, point me in the directions. And so this is just another extended reach for us to make sure on the other side of the aisle, once they complete their duty and service, that they know they have another, we can help them on that next chapter. So
Yes.
we have that as well. So we have a few other things like Kentucky Tuition Assistance Waiver Program for those that's 100. When you have a service member that's 100% disabled and connected, and helping their family. So that's just to name a few.
Right.
But those are a few things that I wanted to highlight to make sure that they know we have those programs.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to prove, when I did my interview with Dallas, he's a, I guess he's an evangelist, and he's made me drink the Kool-Aid as well, of ensuring that Kentucky is moving in the direction to be military ready. He said there's a military friendly is like that person says, oh, thank you for your service, but there's not really anything we can do for you. But military ready is moving in the direction that when that service person leaves the service through retirement, through just doesn't want to retire, wants to go to that next transition or next phase in life, that there's something out there that we can assist you with to kind of bridge that gap, so you're not really punching in the dark. We have things set up for you that you can take advantage of. So, and that's kind of where I want to give Dr. Kratzer in Dallas all his due credit. That is not my thing. He is the military ready evangelist. I am just maybe like his co-conspirator in this process to make sure we keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing and doing the things we need to do, because we do have, though we do have the 3 primarily Army bases, or 2 Army bases in Kentucky, but I mean, we have the Bluegrass Army Depot as well. We also have the Kentucky Air National Guard, Fort Knox, Fort Campbell. I think those are the most popular ones that everybody knows. But there, we're here for all military. It doesn't matter if you're the Coast Guard. For whatever reason you want to relocate to the state of Kentucky, we want to make sure that we have something here for you as you look for that next phase in your life, as you look to become a civilian. That we all, at some point, it's like a good athlete. At some point, you have to hang up the uniform and you have to go do something else. And when that time comes, we want to make sure that we're giving you as much support and as much help as we possibly can.
Yeah, it lessens the stress too. When these individuals really take advantage of it, and I'm a product of that effort as well, because I did something. I had a career that was long and long time coming, and separating. It's a whole lot of things that's going through your mind. And I would just tell you, it gives you angst, anxiety, all those things come, and they probably, pretty natural just for you to have some kind of feeling some kind of way. But I was really so I drank it too. So but it really means a lot to me when we can help our young service members too. And just any of us, but especially our young service members. So their total experience on both the front side and the back side is really good with them serving for us and serving our nation. And so I think this is a win. I really do.
No doubt. And in doing my research, I found out doing some asking around and looking around and digging. So and every time I have a guest, I got to do a little research on them. So I did a little research, and I found out that you were part of a program called Skill Bridge. Is that was my research correct when I did?
You are absolutely correct. I don't know who all knows what Skill Bridge is, but Skill Bridge is a program that was developed by the U.S. Department of Defense. And what happens is it allows the civilian businesses to provide skills and training to our service members during their last 6 months in the uniform. And so, it's 5 programs: employment skills training, apprenticeship, um, internship, on the job training, and job shadowing, I believe. And
Mhm.
I took advantage of the internship, the individual internship, under a program that's nested in Skill Bridge for the Army called Career Skills Program.
Mhm.
So it was one of those things you kind of got to find your own job and or find a connection with a company or organization that would be willing to take you in and let you hang out a little bit and get some on the job training, a little bit of all of it as an intern, and on the back end have an opportunity to maybe offer you a position like all 5 of those categories should
Mhm.
do, right?
Right.
So yes, I did the internship at the Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, and I did it for 8 weeks.
Mhm.
And of course, you got to get approval from your leadership, and they approved that, and I'm so grateful for that. And so I came here for 8 weeks, did that, and on the back end of it, they offered me the position as chief of staff.
Nice.
And I was a little hesitant, but I would tell you, the passion and the leadership here sealed the deal.
Mhm.
And so came on as the chief of staff, and no kidding, 30 days later, I was promoted to deputy commissioner. So the succession plan works, right? And again, I still feel truly blessed because it gave me an opportunity to land somewhere where I can get my feet under me and make a difference and be a contributing factor to something that I really do feel like is a labor of love um, for the right reasons in veterans.
No,
Now,
that
someone that's me.
yeah. And so when you were going through that process, did you obviously you're still kind of in uniform, kind of not in uniform. Did you was that adjustment period really difficult to know that?
Well, what happened is because of where I landed, most of them are veterans. So I got a lot of coaching and mentoring,
Mhm.
and I'm still kind of ready to hold formations and and all that. I'm playing, but you know what I mean. We ain't doing PT. Just all that, but I'm making light of it. But really, I had Commissioner Allen, and at that time, he was the deputy, and then I had Commissioner. I'm now Deputy Secretary Jackson. They kind of
Mhm.
wrapped their arms around me because it's another side of just learning the business. It's also about somebody mentoring you and coaching you through a process like, hey, you don't have to worry about that here in the
Right.
civilian sector. And
Mhm.
having real conversations with me and coaching me through what that looks like and
Right.
letting me process it. So that was the goodness for where I landed because not just they was veterans. I have a first sergeant here, and if they are not veterans, they was they are was married, maybe a spouse of a veteran, or
Mhm.
have been doing this thing for veterans for so long. They kind of got a feel for that, what veterans look like and what it feels like to take care of a veteran. So
Right.
everyone wrapped their arms around me and really kind of showed me um, that part of it, that part of letting me really start making that transformation, that transition. It's still work in progress, but I'm coming around, and I'm a quick learn on things. And but I will tell you, it's where I landed. You have someone that's been where you've been,
Mhm.
and they take care of veterans. So what's more? I couldn't be at a more sweeter spot than what I am right now, at a time right now, because I have an idea what I want to do, but do
Mhm.
you really know what you want to do?
Right. 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 Right.
So I'm growing up to learn all the things I want to do all over again, and I couldn't pick a better place to have land to do that. So to answer your question, is I have a lot of coaching here on me and then mentoring me and just talking me through things, and I feel comfortable enough to take and go ask,
Mhm.
is this how this should look or this not? Because we got to remember this is state, so it's a different lingo, right? It's so. And when I,
100%.
yeah, so I do an overlay what I've learned from the military over the state business and kind of find my way through. Because some of it is going to be simply me figuring out what that looks like for myself.
Right.
And so day by day, I'm doing that as well. As far as, you know, I don't have to go at the same tempo. I don't have to be a soldier here. I'm gonna be a soldier for life, but I don't have to be an active duty soldier here. And so I'm finding my way, and they got their arms wrapped around me, and helping me with this transformation and this walk on this side of the aisle.
That's good. That's amazing. So let me ask you. So before we let you go, because you've given us a lot of things to take into consideration. We know that KDVA, we're helping the homeless. We got cemeteries we're doing. We got homes that we're building. We got the reps that are out there helping everyone get their disability claims together. I mean, there is just a lot going on. Plus, I'm sure there's a million other things that are going on that are just like subcategories of all those things that are helping out along the way. Is there any one specific project that you just really have your teeth sunk into that is like, if this is the one of the biggest gems, it's the greatest secret that nobody knows about in the state of Kentucky, or that through KDVA?
I would say the whole Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs. And what I'm saying, what I mean by that is sometimes people think it's just the four letters,
Right.
and it's more than that. And branding and doing that statewide communication to get more folks to know that we here.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you don't know is what you don't know.
Right.
I hadn't heard of it until I got here.
Gotcha.
So what we want to do is get the word out and let them know we here, and touch every single one of those veterans that we know are in the state, and make sure they know we are a resource for them. So if I can put anything, it's got to be all of it. I'm sorry. I know you probably was like, well, what's one of those little special little projects you got? So for me, it's branding, it's the strategic communication, and it's making sure that they know who we are and know where we at, and that, we amp it up and let them know. Because what we don't want them to do is miss out on us being one of their resources.
No doubt, no doubt. So listen, we know you got a busy day. We got a busy schedule. I mean, you over there, number 2, running the shop, you know what I mean? Just doing a lot of things, making sure that, I'm assuming, all those moving pieces keep moving. But before I let you go, we have to do what we call sniper round. And you're probably saying, what in the world is sniper round? Sniper round is just a few quick questions that we're going to ask you, and you just say the first thing that comes to your mind, almost like a rapid fire or round or anything like that. So,
okay.
Here we go. Sniper round. Here we go. Question 1. What was your favorite military duty station?
Germany.
Okay.
I did 4 tours in Germany.
Oh, okay. You didn't
and
want
we'll
to
go back again.
You didn't want to come back to America. Okay. Sniper round question 2. What was or is your best military memory?
Oh man, I can't name one. If I had to, oh my gosh, my mind just started racing. I couldn't. I've had a blast. Let me tell you, I have had a blast. Um, my best military memory is just giving it all. Like I mean, really paying it forward and helping as much as I can for. If it's about team, I'm all on it. So if I had to pick one, drill sergeant.
Okay. You're so happy and upbeat. I don't know. Okay. I'm sure there's another side.
It was basic training. I see you got your book behind you.
Oh yeah. I had to, I mean, I'm working on giving a more military feel behind me. I'm working on it. I had to dig to find some of these things. So I'm like, where is all this stuff at? Okay, so here we go. Sniper round question. Next question. What was your favorite military training exercise or military training school?
School probably was Sergeant Major Academy.
Okay.
got a chance to do a lot of networking, building a lot of friendships, and just knowing who's who other than me out there. And trust me, I graduated in 2008 from the Sergeant's Major Academy, and I'm class 58. And I got a chance to see my classmates throughout the years since that, since us being together in 2007, 2008. And that's pretty cool to see us grow and go into positions, and we like school kids, all over again. So that's probably the best.
Okay. Last question, sniper round. Here we go. If you could do your military career all over again, what would you do different?
What first thing came to mind was that I would I probably would I know a sniper, and I'm like a little slow sniper, I'm like move a little slow sniper. I don't have no regrets, and so I don't have nothing too serious I want to do over. But if I had to say something, is maybe some of the decisions I had to make. I might have made some different decisions when it comes to people, and making sure that I do my best. But in hindsight, it's hindsight, right? You're like, man, if I could have got another chance to do that over again, I probably feel the same way about this interview. If I get a chance to do that over, but I have no regrets about my career. If I had to do anything over, I probably would have went sooner.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a common theme. I've asked this question to several of our other podcast guests, and they've kind of said the same thing. There wasn't that they would do over, maybe do it sooner, maybe study more, but it wasn't anything that was so drastic or so weird in their time that they would just like, I would never do it. And never had that yet. Never had that one come up yet. So here we go. This is one of our fun questions I like to ask, and this is just a shout out. Right. So what organization would you like to highlight and give a shout out to? And so just to give you a little heads up, General Bullard, right, the KCMA executive, he gave the shout out to KDVA. So who is KDVA going to give the shout out to this week?
Well, of course, I want to do my own home team, but I got to tell you, for thinking enough for me to be even interview me and have me on your podcast, I got to give KCMA, definitely give them a shout out. We have a great relationship, and I look forward to continuing that. And of course, I'm gonna give my home team a shout out, and give my home team a shout out. And again, it's all the people that I have came in contact with and will come in contact with. I look forward to it.
No doubt. So before we let you go, this is the last question we have on the podcast today. What do you hope our listeners hope to get out of the podcast, listening to you, understanding what KDVA does, is, where it's at, where it's located? What do you want our listeners? I mean, obviously, hopefully we blow up your phones, that you guys have to hire a new administrative assistant. But in the event that doesn't happen, what is the next thing that you want our listeners to get out of today's podcast?
Well, you kind of hit it on the head for me because, hit the nail on the head for me, because what I do want them to get out of it is that KDVA is here, and we're a statewide agency serving veterans across the entire state of Kentucky. And I want them to know that. I want them to take the time to get on our website and see all the things that we're doing. We even redesigning our website, so we're super excited about that. And if nothing else, that people make a difference. And I'm in the business of with people that are trying to make a difference for our veterans and do what we can to enhance our capabilities across the entire state and even our bordering states, develop relationships with them so we can better serve our veterans. So if nothing else, they get out of it that KDVA is more than a 4-letter word. And as far as me, I'm here trying to do my best, put all the grind here just like I did in the uniform and really give it all I got.
No doubt. And what is the website, since you mentioned it, what is the website that all our veterans and military members can find you at?
Oh, well, just put in KDVA and it's pretty simple, and then you can get us there and look us up. And we look forward to seeing what we can do to better assist everyone and kind of go from there. It's pretty simple.
I love it. Well, thank you, Miss Lanice. You've been an amazing podcast guest today. The Foxhole greatly appreciates you getting down and dirty with us today. And we will do everything we can to push, promote, bring awareness to KDVA as we can, as often as we can on the KCMA podcast. So Thank you very much. And I'm sure your boss will be grateful that you can get back to work now.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much, Sean. It's really nice talking to you today. Have a
No
good
problem.
one. Everyone,
Uh-huh.
take care.
You do the same. Have a great day.
Okay, bye bye.
Shout out to KDVA and Lanice. Thank you for that Foxhole interview and giving us some very insightful and informative information that will help our current military members and their families find success in the Bluegrass State. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, as I say all the time, that was some great information, but this is what I want you to do. If you loved what you heard and want to hear more about it, hit me up. Email me at sean.owens@ky.gov. Again, SHAUN.OWENS@ky.gov. Listen, I want you to break my inbox. Aside from that, this is also what I want you to do. If you found Lanice's interview very informative, but yet you need some more information, I want you to go out there, log onto your device, go into Google, go into Yahoo, go to whatever search engine you go to, type in KDVA or Kentucky Department of Veteran Affairs, click enter, pull up their website, get all their information out there, find all their programs. Listen, there are things as military members and their family members that you are entitled to, that your service men and women have earned, and we want to make sure that anything that is earned that you get. Listen, I know that was a lot of information. I know it was a short amount of time, so you're going to have to email us or email me, and I will point you in the right direction. I promise you. But listen, military members, before I get out of here today, you know, like I always say, there are 4 things that I want to do and hope that this podcast is able to provide you with every time we get together. Every time we get together. 1, I want you to stay engaged. 2, I want you to stay motivated. 3, I want you to become educated. And 4, I want you to be inspired to go be great. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I know we had a great time today. I had a great time today. So this is what I want you to do. Until we meet again, until I see you again in this virtual space, I want you to stay safe and have a great day.